Is the wait finally over, or is Nikon just playing a very long game of silence? For years, wildlife photographers and sports shooters have been begging for a true successor to the legendary D500. They wanted something small, fast, and powerful. Now, the rumors are screaming that the Nikon Z90 is finally here, and it is being called a mini Z9. This isn't just another camera release, it is Nikon's attempt to fill a massive vacuum in their lineup. If you are a reach specialist or a resolution architect, your world is about to change. The silence from Nikon has been getting loud, and the data shows this isn't just about gear lust, it is about workflow architecture. We are entering a new era of Nikon engineering where the boundaries between professional flagship power and portable APS-C bodies are completely disappearing. The D500 was a legend because it offered pro-level speed in a crop sensor body. It was the wildlife king. For years, the Z series lacked that specific crown. The Z50 just didn't cut it for demanding action, and the Z6 series, while great, didn't offer that extra reach. But the Z90 rumors are changing everything. We're looking at a 33-megapixel APS-C sensor. This is a huge jump from the 20-megapixel standard we've seen for years. For anyone wondering why you'd want a smaller sensor, it comes down to the pixels per duck argument. It turns the crop factor into a massive optical advantage. You put a 500mm lens on this sensor, and it frames up like a 750mm. But because of those 33 megapixels, you aren't just getting closer, you are getting more detail. You can still crop in post-production without the image falling apart or looking noisy. It is about getting closer to the action without carrying a 10-pound lens that costs as much as a car. But a sensor is nothing without speed and brains. The Z90 is rumored to use the Expeed processor, the same engine driving the flagship Z9. That means we are looking at 15 to 20 frames per second with a mechanical shutter, and potentially much higher with an electronic one. It is starting to sound like a baby Z9 in every sense of the word. It's expected to have dual card slots, likely a CF Express and an SD, which is a massive relief for pros who need redundancy. On the video side, we are hearing about oversampled 4K 60 video that will look incredibly sharp because it's using the full width of that 33MP sensor. But the real shocker is the stabilization. Leaks point to 6 or even 7 stops of in-body image stabilization, or IBIS. That is extremely rare for an APS-C body because the physics of a smaller mount and sensor usually make it hard to implement. Usually, companies cut IBIS to save money or keep the body tiny. If Nikon keeps it, they win the entire segment. Imagine hand-holding a 750mm equivalent lens at dusk, shooting a rare bird. That IBIS is the difference between a sharp shot you can sell and a blurry mess you have to delete. Then we have the second persona, the resolution architect. This is where the Z73 comes in. This isn't just a rumor, it feels like an inevitability in the market. This is for the landscape shooter, the architectural photographer, or the studio professional who needs fidelity over frame rates. We are talking about a sensor pushing towards 60 megapixels, rivaling the best from Sony and Canon. To handle that, Nikon might do something bold, use dual Expeed processors. You might think 2 processors is overkill for landscapes, but high-res files are heavy. Moving 60 megapixels of data needs massive bandwidth, especially if you want the camera to remain snappy and responsive. More importantly, at 60 megapixels, your margin for error is 0. A tiny focus error becomes a massive, unforgivable problem when you print large. You need that dual processor power to drive Z8, level AI subject tracking. Even for a mountain range or a model in a studio, the autofocus needs to be perfect to make that resolution usable. This extra power also unlocks 8K video and internal 12-bit RAW recording. This makes the Z73 a landscape beast that can also shoot high-end cinema. The price tag is rumored to be around $3,500 to $3,800. That is an aggressive move by Nikon. It undercuts the Z8 but offers higher resolution for those who don't need the stacked sensor's insane readout speeds. It's the perfect tool for those who don't need the Z8's bulk but want the ultimate image quality. Nikon is refining its roadmap, not abandoning it. They are filling the gap. that have been empty for too long, making sure that whether you shoot birds at a distance or fashion in a studio, there is a Z camera built specifically for your workflow. However, there is a catch that everyone needs to hear. The release window for the Z90 seems to be drifting toward mid-2026. This isn't coming tomorrow. If you are holding out, you are playing the long game. You have to ask yourself, can your current gear last another year or two? So, what is the ultimate move? If you are losing jobs today because your current autofocus can't keep up with the competition, don't wait for a ghost. Look at a used Z8 or even a Z9 if you can find a deal. But if you have a D500 that is still working and you just love that crop sensor workflow, hold on. The Z90 seems to be the only true successor coming. It is the camera that will finally bridge the gap between the old DSLR glory days and the high-tech mirrorless future. In my opinion, the Nikon Z90 is the most important camera Nikon could release right now to maintain its fan base. While the Z8 and Z9 are amazing, they are expensive and heavy. The Z90 brings that pro feel to a body that is accessible for wildlife enthusiasts and sports photographers who need reach above all else. If Nikon delivers on the 7 stops of IBIS and the 33MP sensor, it will be the D500 killer everyone has been waiting for. It is a specialized, rugged beast that proves Nikon still cares about the APS-C professional market. This camera will likely become the new standard for outdoor photography, offering a balance of portability and power that full-frame sensors just can't match when you need that extra zoom. The era of the toy APS-C camera is over. The era of the mini Z9 is beginning. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your fellow photographers who are still rocking their D500s, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the gear that is changing the game forever.